Over to you, Jeff.
Let's begin with some auspicious verses of salutation from Nagarjuna's fundamental treatise on the middle. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma, which abandons all views. To you, the Buddha, Gautama, I pay homage. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fourth installment of the Jeffrey Hopkins Legacy Series with Professor Jongbok Yi. My name is Jeff Allen, and I'm honored to be here on behalf of Buddhist Center again, collaborating with Sravasti Abbey and Institute for Tibetan Studies. Any donations received during the series will go to Institute for Tibetan Studies. There will be a link in the chat box for donations. This will bring you to the Sravasti Abbey donation page. Right in the comments section when you make your donation, Jeffrey Hopkins Legacy Series. This will help continue the internet availability of so many publications that are on the website, as well as providing funding for future translations. Professor Hopkins left because of impermanence, quite a few unfinished projects. After the lecture, we will entertain a few questions for around 30 minutes or so. Please post those in the link found also in the chat box. We'll get to as many as possible. The questions will be fed to me by Sravasti Abbey, and then I'll be reading them off my phone. So if you see me reading them off my phone, know that they're your questions and that I'm just getting to them as I get them one by one. Slides will be made available after the presentation. There'll be a link on the YouTube video and or the Sravasti Abbey website, and that'll happen as soon as possible, as soon as we can get those up. And then I'm excited to introduce our fourth esteemed speaker of the series, Professor Jongbok Yi, Associate Professor of Philosophy, Stockton University. Professor Jongbok Yi received a bachelor degree from Sunkyun Kwan University in 1997, and then a master's degree from Seoul National University, Korea in 2000, and then studied Indian and Tibetan Buddhism with Professor Jeffrey Hopkins and Professor David Germano, beginning in 2002 at the University of Virginia, where they received another master's degree in 2005 and his PhD in 2013. Professor Jongbok Yi has translated Buddhist texts on some of the most complex topics found in the monastic curriculum within Galupa monasteries. His translations of the 6th chapter Autonomy section of Jayan Sheba's Decisive Analysis, the Tachu of Chandrakirti's supplement to the treatise on the middle, are incredible for anyone seeking Jayan Sheba's explanation of the autonomy school's established conclusions and how it actually differs at face value to some degree with Lama Tsongkhapa unless it's twisted around a bit, and it's quite difficult to understand, let alone translate. So we really rejoice in the work you've done on this very profound topic. Also, Professor Jongbok Yi translated and co-translated several books with Professor Hopkins on Maitreya's Abhisama Alankara, Ornament for Clear Realization, including a clear commentary by Ngawang Pelden and outlines by Jayan Sheba and Gonjo Jimmy Wombo. And these texts are so helpful to map, summarize, and understand the 8 categories, 70 topics, and the 173 aspects found in this very, very encoded texts. These translations are actually used in the Nalanda Master's Program at Tibet House, New Delhi, when the study of Abhisama Alankara comes up, and numerous students have been benefited greatly by this work you've done. So, and myself as well. So thank you very much. And Professor Hopkins would brag about you like a proud mentor, saying that when I get Jongbok's work, there isn't much to do. He's very accurate with his translations. And a compliment about accuracy from Genla is so precious based on his obsession with detail. And this has made us all a lot better in general. So Professor Jongbok has also translated several important Dharma books from English into Korean, including 2 by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And many of you have read Stages of Meditation, Kamala Shila's meditation text with His Holiness, his commentary, and because of Professor Jongbok Yi, that's now in Korean as well. So we're really fortunate to have him here speaking. And I also hear that you know a lot about the history of tea.
Oh, yes.
But today we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about a highly debated topic in the Nalanda tradition. Can you take all the power away from the side of the appearing object like T and still conventionally establish the object T? And the proponents of Svatantrika Madhyamika say no, very convincingly. So, with that being said, I'm honored to introduce our fourth esteemed speaker, Professor Jongbok Yi, to help us understand these assertions.
Thank you. What the Jeff told about me from Jeffrey, I think that's a lie. I don't believe it. Like, I don't think I'm a good translator, particularly because I'm not a native speaker. In English is not my first language. So let me introduce myself first. I'm from Korea. So the funny story about me is that when I was 9 years ago, when I was 9 years old, I chose Buddhism as my religion. And before that, I went to Sunday church, and I found that there was some struggle to me because every Sunday in Korea there was like the Japanese animations from 8 to 10, and then but I need to go to church in the morning, like from the 8 to 10. So I'm missing a lot of the Japanese animations. And one day, my mom forgot to give me the 50 cents, which is a donation to the church. So I went to church with empty hand. And and then if I donate the 50 cents, then they gave me the 50 cents snack. So when I went there with the empty hand, the Sunday school teacher told me that no donation, no snack. And then I felt really, really ashamed. So when I came back from the church, I thought that if I have the 50 cents to pay the 50 cents and buy a snack and go and stay at home and watch my animations, then that would be much pleasurable than go to church and then wave my hand and say hallelujah. So I start to go to church at 8. Then for a year, but I thought that human beings are imperfect, and therefore we need to rely on someone who is more close to perfect. So then I read already about the 50 people's biography, but I again read the four so-called the four great saints of the world, of the Jesus Christ, and then Buddha Shakyamuni, and Mohammed, and the Confucius. And then the Confucius was too the political. So I eliminated him from the list. And then at that time, the Muhammad's the biography was really distorted by Christians. So I mistakenly, but the eliminated from my list. And then I left the choices, the Buddha and the Jesus, because I thought that while church was corrupted, it was my 8 years old. So while the church was corrupted with the snag and 50 cents and so on, but still, Jesus Christ could be different from the church. So I read the both of the biographies again. This is the third time, and then I thought that what is the crucial moment where they found the truth? And then Jesus actually climbed up the mountain and had a conversation with God. And the Buddha sit under the tree and then dive into his mind. And then because I'm so child, so I thought that the both of them could have any kind of mistake. Then whose mistake will be less than the other? And then so if I the just like measure the distance, then the more you further, then the more the error. So I thought that if you try to find the truth by means of from the sky, then they will have more error than finding truth by the inside of mind. So I still remember that was I was like passing by the church and then thought that then I choose the Buddha as the teacher. And that was when I was 9, when around this time, like when the fig was on the vendors are selling the fig. And I decided to Buddha as my teacher. and asked my mom to bring me to her temple. So I think that's when I decided to become a Buddhist, and I never regret. I'm so happy being Buddhist. And while I'm practicing, I'm like just like Jeffrey, I also practice meditation and so on quite a long time since and somehow I had tendency to practice meditation right in front of a cliff to see the landscape. And so when I was in high school, I always climb up to the behind of my home to find a cliff and sit down there. And then during like in all the mid 90s, there was some debate in Korea about the sudden enlightenment and gradual enlightenment. And because the Zen Buddhist tradition or Sun Buddhist tradition always says that the enlightenment is sudden, because of the monk, many people in Korea thought that enlightenment should be sudden and gradual enlightenment doesn't make sense. And then to me if I my practice and the achievement was very gradual, like and therefore I thought that that's wrong. And then I wanted to find some more methodical way to refute him. So so I researched and then found that there was some debate between the Chinese monk and Indian monk in Tibet, between the Kamalashila and Huashang Mahayana. So I was interested in that. But if someone tried to write the MA thesis about that, then someone needs to actually master both sides. Otherwise, it will be very superficial. So I decided to study the sudden enlightenment, like the 8th century, the early Chan Buddhism, while I was in Korea. And then then I thought that I can study Kamalashila with someone else in the United States. So I wrote my MA thesis about the Huashang Mahayana's the tradition, following the Shui and the like Dunhang tradition. Then I found the Jeffrey, and actually when I applied to United States, the University of Virginia is the only place where I applied. So it was funny. And then I got the admission from the University of Virginia for the MA thesis program, MA program. And I found that I don't have money. So I went to a Buddhist monk who has a lot of fortune at the time, and and showed my application and then told him that I need your help. And then somehow he helped me, like throughout the entire year of my PhD dissertation. So the big thanks to him, I was able to come to the United States. And when I came to the United States, some people told me a lie that you can actually learn English within a year. And so I didn't prepare. I didn't prepare anything. I couldn't speak. I barely spoke English. But I came to the Charlottesville, and there was summer intensive the Tibetan school during the summer program, as a summer program. And then while my friends are actually learning Tibetan, actually I learned English from Tibetan. So then but Jeffrey was actually in sabbatical when I came to the United States in 2002. So the Derek Maher, who is the dean in North Carolina University, actually helped me, and the late Bill McKee also helped me to settle down. Then I met Jeffrey. Then the first thing we did is we went to Chinese buffet because I don't know any restaurant at all. And then we had the dinner, and then all of a sudden he told me that he remembers his past life. So then we talked about his past life, which is like wonderful story about the time of probably 13th Dalai Lama. Was hilarious. And then he asked me, do you remember any? So I said, like, yeah, I remember several. And I think that's only one thing he's envious about me, like remembering more than one past life. Then the next year, I found that like without his help, I cannot actually progress my study. So I asked Jeffrey to help me to understand the translate Tibetan. And it was actually one time a month, the 1 hour in a week. And I still remember it was Korean restaurant with the Zering Wangchuk, who is teaching at San Francisco State University. We were there, and then I asked him, can I steal 1 hour of your week? And then he said, what? And he said, just 1 hour, please. And then he said, okay, then come to me. So I drove like 45 minutes to his home, and then he said, like, this is like the very casual way of speaking at the beginning. He'll say, Yarpe, the please come, and then I'll say the charpenang jung, and then like he'll ask me like, 팸남나 꾸냔마 중에, means like, is there any difficulties while you're coming? And then I'll say Lama jung, and then he'll say, then come in, and then I'll open the door and then get in. Then but during my 10 year, so I think I studied with Jeffrey over like, it was 1 hour. And then he found that the 1 hour is not enough to scold me. So it became the 2 hours. And then 2 hours was not enough. So it became the 2 times a week. And then 2 times a week was also not enough. So it became the 3 times a week. And then it became like 3 hours each time. So then he was punching me like 2 hours. Then then we actually get into the translation for an hour, and then when I come back, I was so happy every time. Like going to Uma, like his ranch was like so torturous to me, because whether I did do correctly or not, excuse me, he will scold me. And so every time I thought that I'm climbing up to the room and then boxing with Michael Tyson. And like every time I'll be like punched and then will be knocked down. So my hope was to at least once or twice I jab him before I graduate. So and Jeffrey actually enjoyed the challenge. Like I always challenged him, and he always accept the challenge. And like every time, if he has found that I'm correct and then I'm right and he's wrong, then he immediately applies it to me. Or otherwise, he thundered me like one period. Like if I miss one period or one comma, then that's the day. Like I'll cry inside. I never cried outside, but I cried inside. So my topic was Kamala Shila, as I told you. So I was interested in studying Umanawa, the illumination of the middle way, written by Kamala Shila, which is mainly text the presenting the Svatantrika schools, the doctrine. So then I found that there was a commentary written by the Chapa Chökyi Sengye. I will share some pictures now. Can you see it? Okay.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Now I cannot see you. Okay. So this is the portal. The reason I took this picture is because it says that His Holiness Dalai Lama's room is the room when the first meet the sun. So this is the time when I woke up early in the morning to take this picture to see where His Holiness would sit up and start his study and meditation. Then this is the Chapa Chökyi Sengye whom I was interested in. And he's a abbot of Sangpo Neotok who is built in 11th century. and he is the like kind of forefather of the Sakya school and the Gelug, Sakya and Gelug. And he is like the renowned proponent of the Sravasti school, and he wrote this is the temple called the Sangpu Neutok, because as you can see, there are two mountains. Is a kind of some bird nest, and then if you see from the outside, it's actually hidden. So it's a sang, the hidden pu, and then Neutok, a small bird, and the left and right side. And of course, this is all destroyed by during the Cultural Revolution. So if you go there, then you can see some remains, not the temple. There is small temple, but not the entire the buildings. So I was interested in this Chapa Chukyi Sengye's the textbook called he wrote the monastic textbooks, and unlike the textbook in later period by the Gomang or the Sakya, the Sera and so on. At that time, the monastic textbooks were actually commentaries on the Indian text. So the Chapa Chokyi Sengye wrote the commentaries on the Sravasti, the Svatantrika school, the masters, Jnanagarva, Shantarakshita, and Kamalashila. And because I knew that there is the commentary by the Chapa and the on Kamalashila's the Illumination of the Middle Way. So I went to Tibet to find the text. And then the text is like this. And this is written in Ducha. And it's very similar to Ume, and I cannot see the difference between Ume and Ducha, but even my teacher said that this is the Ducha, so this is Ducha. I have no idea, frankly speaking. And what I learned from Jeffrey is that if you don't know, then you should say no. You don't know. So I'll say I don't know. And when I went to Tibet I went to Tibet in 2024. And at the time, it was free to walk around it is because before the Beijing Olympics. So I went walk around and then found a small temple. And I opened the door and then tried to get in, and there was a Tibetan. And then the Tibetan was actually held a stone and then threw against me. And then said that I remember what he told me, the Gyami Mogo. So Gyami is Chinese, and then Mogo means we don't need a Chinese here. And actually I didn't know. So dodging the stone, I told him that I'm not Chinese. I'm Korean, of course in Tibetan. And then he's surprised that there's a guy who can speak in Tibetan, and then who is not Chinese. So then he was very happy to see me, and then so I asked him, "What is this place?" And then he said that this is the printing house. It's a Balkang. So then he guided me to a printing house. Actually, that was Naltang Balkang. There are some editions of the Tibetan text, the Tripitaka, and that was the Naltang editions. The printing was made. So I donated the 100 yuan to them for their snack, and they were very happy. And then they asked me why I came here. So I told them that I wanted to find the Naltang the text, the printed text of the Umanawa, the Illumination of the Middle. Then one of them actually led me to the third floor of the building. And that was actually office of Naltang Balkang, the printing house. And then I introduced myself to them, and then I told them that I'm studying in the United States. And then they asked me, like, who is your Lama? So I said, I don't have a Lama, but my teacher is the Jeffrey Hopkins. And then because the Jeffrey told me that when he was studying in the Gumang Monastery, like he talked about the Gen Namlimpa, and then he talked about the Gen Losang Tenjin, who is the who was like very ferocious teacher, and just like Jeffrey, and just like different version of like Jeffrey, like but a little more. Jeffrey always told me that the again Losang Tenjin is so the ferocious, so everybody like cried right in front of him, like burst into tears and ran away from him. But and then I was thinking about meeting him, and then when I talked to them that I'm the teacher, my teacher actually studied at Goma. One of the officers told him that he know him. He studied just right beside of him when Jeffrey was studying at Gomang Monastery, and he told me that Jeffrey is a Gao. Gao means like this like beard, like very big beard, and which Jeffrey had like when he was like in during the 1980s something. So then so I started to talk with him, and then he said he can actually guided me to the Gen Rosangla, who is a teacher of Jeffrey. So I said it's great. So I just on that day just we took a taxi and went to the Gomang Monastery. And then during the time I had a little bit of a conversation. I found that he has a very deep knowledge about Buddhism and particularly Buddhist philosophy. So I went to Gomang Monastery. This is Gomang, and the Rosaling, Gomang, Taeyang, and these are in the same in Depung, the Tashi Depung the monastery. So this is like the labyrinth. If you lost the way, then there's no way you can find the way out. And if you see this back mountain, which is under the cloud, this is the mountain Kempel, the so-called the Kempel Uche, where the Jamyang Sherpa's the retreat house was, and that was destroyed by the Chinese during their invasion. And then I met the Losang Tenjin. He doesn't look like ferocious here, but he was like wow, kachapo shibuchik, like he was like his like talk was like yeah, I'm not native Tibetan. How can my Tibetan be perfect? And when I said like, I wanted to study with him, he said like when you don't understand your Tibetan is so imperfect, how can you study with me? I'm shocked and felt ashamed. Gosh, I thought that just like Jeffrey, like there's nothing he hides, he hid from me. So so Jeffrey actually donated some the money to the Ken Rosang the Tenjin at the time because and then the Ken Tenjin was collecting some the donations to the paint gold on the Buddha Maitreya Buddha in the Dashunpa monastery, which I'll show later. So I also donated some money to him, and then I just like I'm defeated, and then came down to the hill, and then but next day my teacher the whom led me to the monastery told me that Ken Tenjin said that he can actually share the pecha or text about the Kamala Shila. So I just copied I was very happy, so I copied the text and then came with the text to the United States and then showed Jeffrey, and then we read together the title, and then the title was a note on the Kamala Shila's illumination with the middle way, which is the text written in 18th century. I was more interested in 12th century, but I got the text written in 18th century. Everybody already knows. So Jeffrey said that, so you went to Tibet to get only this text. What a shame. So I said, yeah. So I went back to Tibet next year. Yes, so 2006. And then miraculously I found the text. And then I learned from the one who studied with Jeffrey. He was an ex-monk at Gomang Monastery, and he's very knowledgeable. And so I sometimes ask him the questions and then he answered me really quickly. And just like Jeffrey, he also said that if he doesn't know, then he never tried to elaborate the answer. So but he's gentle, much gentle than Jeffrey or the Gentenjin. So I'm very happy. But anyway, because I got the text from the 12th century, the commentary on the Chapa Chokyi Sengyes, the Umananga Delpa, the commentary on the Kamal Shula's illumination of the middle way. So I input the text for 2 years, and then I showed Jeffrey. And while I'm studying with Jeffrey, the other text, and I think most of the texts are what available at UMA website now. And then I showed Jeffrey, and then we just translated a few pages of Umananga, the Kamala Shula's root text, and the Chapa Chokyi Sengyes, the commentary. And it was so difficult even for Jeffrey. And then Jeffrey one day just called me, and so we sat down together. I was like I prepared to get scolded, but he actually sat down with me and then told me that this text is so difficult. So if you aim to write a dissertation about this text, then it will take another 10 years. And then at that time, I don't know like whether I'm still alive or not. And then that was 2009. So and then he said like, you have two choices. Either you wrote about dissertation about this 12th century text and just like write about that for 10 more years, or find to find a topic which I can give you, and then write a dissertation and graduate. So I didn't even hesitate to think like go for the Chapa Chokyi Sengye, but I told him that then what's the topic, and that topic was the objective negation, and which is the book called the Tsongkhapa's I hope you can see the book, the final exposition of the wisdom. This book is essentially my dissertation was one chapter of my dissertation at least is about his translation of the Tsongkhapa's this book in 5 pages. So that's I think and then I started to read more books, and that became my dissertation. And that's my long personal story with Jeffrey. And one funny thing is I don't remember now, but in one day once His Holiness Dalai Lama came to New York City to gave a teaching about the Kamala Shula's the stages of the stages of meditation, second book. Because the second book has the essential part of all the meditation which Kamala Shula is presenting, and therefore His Holiness always liked the book. So and the current English translation is a little needed some corrections, but still. So the Jeffrey's VIP, and I'm not. So I'm commoner. So I went to have a lunch, and then during that time, Jeffrey had a lunch. Had a 3-minute opportunity to talk with His Holiness. He told me that was coming back to his friend's house in a taxi. He told me that he was actually having a lunch with the Gray, and then His Holiness came showed up in the restaurant, the dining place, and then grabbed his ear and just dragged him to his audience room. And so then they took picture, of course, and then they had a very short conversation. He said His Holiness only had 3 minutes. So and during the 3 minutes, what His Holiness asked him was did you have if I were there, then probably I'll say how are you and so on. That will took 3 minutes, but they didn't. He told me that His Holiness asked Jeffrey, did you have any experience of this, the depth of the emptiness of the non-dualism, and in very deep down level of samadhi? And then the Jeffrey told him that, yes, I did. And then His Holiness Dalai Lama told him that, oh, I'm so envious. I never had that experience yet. And then Jeffrey realized that, oh, I made a mistake. And then he immediately realized that the level of samadhi was not the level what His Holiness was asking him. Then he was on the taxi behind me, and then his face was completely blushed. And he was very frankly spoke to me that his meditation was not enough yet. And then the funny thing was at the time His Holiness was like teaching, and then one side there was like the little boys and girls actually playing, and then there were some of them are actually having lunch and so on, and then His Holiness was teaching, and then he made a joke, and then everybody laughed. And then somehow I thought that, oh, this is a little different from my Dalai Lama. So I came to when we had the dinner together, I told Jeffrey that that's a little strange that people actually laugh and like play in front of His Holiness. And because my Dalai Lama was so stern and so ferocious, so everybody even couldn't breathe in front of him. And then Jeffrey smiled and told me that, yeah, that my teacher told me that the 13th Dalai Lama was so ferocious, and then so nobody could even speak in front of him. Like everybody was actually crawling in front of him. And then I realized that maybe that's my karmic thread with him. Maybe we were in the 13th Dalai Lama's time together. So I thought that's a little interesting. When you think about how Jeffrey had suffered before he found the Geshe-Wangyal and then studied the Tibetan Buddhism, and so I think that's how I was connected with Jeffrey, and then to think about how strongly we are connected. I mean everybody here in the gathering together to the honor Jeffrey. And I think this karmic thread will be very strong, and hopefully can see him in next year and next time too. Okay, so this is my story, and then I'll move to my presentation. My presentation will be very short, really short. So you don't because I don't want you to cry. It's not difficult, hopefully. Okay. Oh, Kentangela. Okay, so what I learned from Jeffrey is the identification of objective negation. Then by the Tsongkhapa, and Tsongkhapa was this is the Kumparapsa, or what Jeffrey translated in his book of the Tsongkhapa's the final exposition of wisdom. Is what is written 1 year before the Tsongkhapa's the Parinirvana. And so then what is the objective negation? Objective negation is actually ignorance. So because when we try to surpass and then and samsara and attain the nirvana for the sake of other beings, or for the sake of oneself, or the no way, no thought, and that the one thing, if you see the 12 links of dependent arising, and beginning is ignorance, marikpa, and or avidya, the non-existence of light, and therefore this understanding this ignorance is very important. And the Tsongkhapa wrote in his Kumparapsa that without the correctly identifying this objective negation, you cannot. Your path will be you'll be straight from the path to the alignment. And therefore, because just like us, like if we don't have any goal when you're driving a car, then the like just driving, aimlessly driving doesn't give anything, any fruits. And therefore, the like identifying what ignorance means is very crucial in the path of the practice, not only path of the reasoning. And therefore, he actually gives the identification of objective negation very clearly in his book. So according to him, there are two types of objective negation. The first one is the objective negation which is intellectual, means for example, in the Paipashka school or which the Sravasti Vada school is included. And according to them, the ultimate object, ultimate object here means like if you see it, then you'll realize. So the emptiness, although we think the emptiness is empty of the true existence, the problem is like then what is true existence? That's the problem. So for example in Paipashka, the true existence is the faceless the object, which is like kind of atom, which doesn't have any part which you can cut off. And then if you see that the material, the atom, then your mind will have the quality of this ultimate object, and therefore you will become enlightened because your mind is the ultimate mind. And therefore, however, if you see it from the Sautrantika school or Sutra school, then that's wrong. And Sutra schools, the ultimate object is the wrong. They will be refuted by the mind-only school. And mind-only schools, the true existence, which is mind, will be refuted by these two schools of the Umapa or the proponents of the middle way. And therefore, and then it includes the existence of God in the God or in Sankhya school, or the Prakriti, or the Purusha, which in Sankhya school, all these are the objective negation in the intellectual sense. So we translate it as the objective negation in terms of the intellectually apprehensible true existence. So this is all about your study, how you study, and if you think that this is the end of my study, and this is there's no way we can go further, and this is the ultimate object too. And then if I see it, then I'll be realized, and attain the enlightenment. Then that's from the above the school. Above the school's viewpoint, if that is wrong, then that's objective negation from the intellectual viewpoint. And then the objective negation in terms of innate apprehension of true existence is something we having beginninglessly, and in which is the habitualized in the stream of consciousness throughout lives and lives. And these are two objects of negation in Gelugpa. So if you don't have to see the old Tibetans, but the intellectually imbued here means like you're learning. So while this innate apprehension of true existence, the low column, is something you are embedded. It means like you're born with this one, but the intellectually imbued apprehension of true existence is something you learn during the school or during your meditation or through your teachers. So those who will relying on scriptures or reasoning will actually have this kind of the intellectually imbued apprehension of true existence, and then that's a course. And then the other one, which all beings innately have, is the subtle, the objective negation. Here, coarse and subtle is, I think, this very if you practice meditation, then there will be certain object which can very easily be realized that this is I can feel it. I realize this, like such as breath and so on. That's actually coarse object of meditation, means you can easily realize what it is. And subtle object of meditation is like just like the emptiness, which is like 중사kok유, like slightly hidden. You cannot actually see it with your direct perception, or you cannot feel it. And but still, it actually governs the entire samsara. And these are subtle. Then therefore, unless you went to go to like very deep level of meditation, you cannot realize. That's subtle the object of the meditation. So in Kamalashila says that also with regard to the statement ultimately production does not exist and so forth, it asserted that meaning is this: because all consciousnesses origin from correct hearing, thinking, and meditating are non-erroneous object possessors, they're called ultimate because the being ultimate of consciousness. So what it means is if you study and then through the correct, that means like the right hearing, the right learning, and then contemplation, if you meditate, then you can eventually remove the intellectually imbued the object of negation. And this is one ultimate consciousness. As I'll introduce later, there will be two types of ultimate consciousnesses. Okay. And then therefore this course object of negation is what we can learn through Tumta, or the textbook on tenet system. And just like the Jamyang Sherpa's the textbook will say, all these actually climb up to a ladder. Each of the system will need to thoroughly learn. Then you can move to next system and then criticize the system below the system, and then you can climb on another the ladder. And then you can see the criticize the system and so on. So that's a little coarse level of objective negation. And then so we mostly focus on the innate or the more subtle objective negation, which is true or real, the ignorance. Okay. So then something we are still arguing with in Jeffrey is that the Tsongkhapa says claimed that this clear identification of object of negation does not emerge in I don't know whether I can do it or not. Other clear identification, and but only in the Kamalashula's the illumination of the middle. And therefore and it says that the how he found is not the explicit reading. If you see the textbooks we made in UMA, and you'll see that some of the texts are actually covered in magenta color and then the other color, and that is because when we were reading this, Jeffrey and I were reading this text, we were interested in explicit and implicit reading. And therefore, we found that if you change the explicit reading of a text to the implicit reading, then we can find what the topics the Jarinpoche or the Jamyang Sherpa is actually negating, and then what our schools can accept. So the Tsongkhapa says that this object identification of object of negation in terms of innate only can be found in this Kamalashula's illumination of the middle. And but this is very risky because there are at least three texts written by by Jnanagarba and the Shantarakshita and then Kamalashila. And Kamalashila wrote we can find at least like several texts which is in the Tripitaka, in about the philosophical texts. And if you see the Jnanagarba's the differentiation of the two truths, then he very clearly used the term 각자, or the object of negation, very clearly. So when Tsongkhapa says it has a little, it's still a little risky and bold. So what he says, objective negation will be revealed where the Kamalashila discussed the mode of conventional existence, which and the like Kunjaptu Yopa. Kunjaptu Yopa is the like that the Kunjaptu Yopa conventional existence in the Gelug school is the dependent something exists dependently by causes and conditions. And then the objective negation cannot be discovered by explicit reading of the passage on the mode of conventional existence, but through the method of implicit reading, the shuk and shuk, that taking this opposite and thereby revealing the hidden meaning of the passage. And third, he said, Kamarashilas, the Illumination of the Middle is the only text among all Svatantrika schools texts that contains the clear identification of objective negation in terms of the innate apprehension of true existence. Here, what we need to focus on is when you talk about this objective negation, the objective negation is two parts. One is the actual object, and the other one is the mind itself, like Tenjin, the mind which is apprehending objects as true. And therefore, what he wants you to find is a convenient passage which you can find describing the mode of mind and mode of existence at the same time. And that's the only text is Illumination of Middle. So where he found is the meaning of Kunjab. The Kamarashila says like a mistaken awareness, the superimposes on things that the reality or ultimately are natureless. An aspect opposite to the natureless is called an obscure. Because and Jeffrey explained to me that this can be the obscure because it is just like a curtain closing your eyes and the covering your eyes so that you cannot see the things as they are. So it's because it obstructs itself from the perception of suchness or because it veils from the perception of suchness. So this is the Kunjab Besem, or the conventional mind. And then it says that the part where Tsongkhapa, according to Tsongkhapa, the innate ignorance should be from the beginningless time. And therefore, what he found is try to find is that all these clues, like what is actually blocking the view, seeing the truth. And it should be coming from the beginningless time, because that is the samsara. And therefore, and this is the passage what Kamarashila says in the Umananga, that all first things seen or displayed by that mistaken consciousness due to having origin from the called just obscuration. Moreover, that consciousness arises through the maturation of beginningless predisposition. So we are habitually see things without even second the consideration, see things as they exist in their own mode of existence. That's like what Kamarashila says here. So whereby all living beings see things displayed as if they had an inherent nature in reality. So therefore, all entities of first things existing through the power of those sentient beings, thoughts, are said only exist conventionally. So because of these clues, beginningless, and then definition of the mistaken consciousness, and also if you see the definition of like what the conventional existence. Here, conventional existence is a little different from the conventional existence as the dependent arising, which is the ultimate is the emptiness. Here is the conventional existence because he was saying the conventional here means like obscuration. So it's the obscure to see things as they are, the things, the original, actually they are the dependent origin. But we are seeing as the one thing without any cause, without any causal conditions. So the Tsongkhapa is Jerimpocha is changing this part to the different way. So when Kamarashila is reading through the power of those sentient beings' thoughts, Your thoughts are the convention, the sampa. Because we were discussing about sampa, I was thinking about there was two other commentaries after the 12th century commentary by one of them is a Samdang. One of them is actually about the mind in the analyzing mind in Kamarashila's commentary. And the thought is here the sampa is a conceptual mind. Conceptual mind here means the see things as subject and object. Like means like although we are all connected, like I'm connected with you through the Zoom, and this connection, the karmic connection, I exist here because of all my parents and all these environments, and all because of you at this moment. So my existence here can be defined by all other existence, but when I see you, I think that I'm different from you. And I'm severed because not only because of the distance, but because of the appearances are different. And these are the dualistic thoughts. That's called the conceptual thoughts, which are called the sampa. And they all through this, the all entities of heart things are said only exist conventionally. So what Tsongkhapa read here is reading the opposite. That's the so-called implicit reading. So he see the existence from the side of object own uncommon mode of abiding means like all entities of first things are they said only exist conventionally through this. So what he does is if this mind is severed, if someone mistakenly see that my mind is severed or disconnected from the object, and if I think that the object exists, like object here means someone else's mind too, but object itself has its own mode of existence, and which is detached from me, like without being only projected through the force of appearing a non-defective awareness, and therefore what he see here is that this existence seen as though it has their own mode of existence, independently or alienated from me. Then that's and that object is the object of negation. And also the mind which is seen in that way, which is called the tenjin, or the mind apprehending the true existence, these are the object of negation. So that's how he finds. So this is I hope that this is easy. Of course, it goes further, like what I wrote in my dissertation, and what I'm still doing is I'm still challenging Jeffrey, and also through Jeffrey, I'm challenging Jerimpoche, that maybe there are other passages of actually discussing the Gakja in other Svatantrika school texts. And one of them is the possibilities. And then I was curious about what is it really Jeffrey told me that this is the Jerimpoche's very unique and creative way of seeing it. And unlike some other bad examples, like in this case, the Kamala Shila's text, the Jerimpoche never conveniently changes some passages in favor of his system. So what I'm doing now is reading I came back to Chapa Chokyi Sengye's his commentary on the illumination of the middle, which I am currently translating with the Dr. Pascal Wugong at the Australian Academy of Science in Vienna. And what you are doing, while we are translating these texts, I'm still challenging or shadowboxing with Jeffrey, and that maybe you are wrong. Now, maybe I can find some other passages which prove that actually Tsongkhapa is actually inherited from the 12th century text. And I think I'm a little close to the Jeffrey, but when I told him that even the Chapa Chokyi Sengye was trying to define the Gakja or object of negation, then Jeffrey told me that well, then does he define the 각자 as mind and object at the same time? And then I found that I couldn't find the passage. So still Jeffrey's winning, but hopefully I can prove that either he's right or I'm right. But that'll take a few years because we just translate the half of the book, and then the rest of them is I'm waiting for her to finish the other projects. Okay, then as I told you, there are two types of objective negation, which is the objective negation which you build through your study, and the other objective negation which we actually are embedded throughout the countless lives. So according about this, like Pavia says that, and this is called the riksha, or the reasoning consciousness or rational consciousness, in the later the Gelugpa school, and Rigpa, the rationality or reasoning in the 12th century text or before. And according to Pavia, there are two types of the ultimate consciousness, which the Gelugpa school inheriting. It says that there's uncontaminated supramundane consciousness that operates without conceptual activity and without the propagation of the dualism. This is one, and this is the ultimate consciousness. And then the second one, which I prefer, is the mundane pristine wisdom, which operates together with the conceptual activity. Here, the conceptual activity is reasoning. So it's not just like the conventional thought, but here is the so-called the reasoning consciousness, the analyzing the ultimate, or the reasoning consciousness analyzing the object through the ultimate reasonings, such as the Dalai Lama or the Mushik-Gengo or the Vajra and so on. And then while I'm preparing this short talk, what I was interested in more is this part. It is the concordant. The mundane pristine wisdom is concordant result of the collections of merit and wisdom, and then involves the proliferation of the dualism. So this is like the established Svatantra school as seeing the initially or temporarily see things as though they have the inherent nature, and thereby establish the reasoning, and then refute through the reasoning, and then through this meditation and then reasoning together and attain the enlightenment. And then it's particularly like this part of the merit. And because as I told you, when I came to the United States, I didn't have money. My father was taxi driver, so he couldn't afford any the money much. So then I realized that throughout I started to meditate from 9 years old, and then when I became 35, 32 or something, I found that I didn't even have couple hundred of dollars in my bank account, and I'm blindlessly pursuing to study in the United States. And so I told one of my masters in Korea that throughout my life I think that's like when I was 30. Throughout my life I pursued the wisdom, and then I didn't look much about the importance of merit. And when I just tried to go to the United States to study further, I found that I don't have much money, which is the one of the result of merit, that I can study further. And therefore I told him that from now on I'll much more focus on the accumulating merit, and along with the studying the wisdom. And then so far I think this is if you see this, this is like the merit and wisdom is if you see Sangdi Sutra, the unraveling thought, the sutra unraveling thought, then the Sangdi Sutra, systemize the 10 paramitas with 6 paramitas and then 4 paramitas. And then it says that the 6 parameters are the except the top 2, I mean the wisdom parameter and so on. The patience and then the precept and so on is perfecting this is actually part of merit. And then the parameter of the meditation and so on is actually part of wisdom. And then 4 the parameters actually supporting all these. And therefore the merit and wisdom is very crucial to attain this mundane pristine wisdom, which will repute all these the imputed or the imbued, intellectually imbued objective negation. Without this part, this is almost impossible in the Gelug system, and which I like very much. And therefore I still think, and then I believe that accumulating merit, wherever you are, and whatever you do, even if you are in the studying highly the complicated the philosophical text, or just the praying, the merit is very important part. And then if you see other sutras, and then the Buddha taught us that the how to accumulate merit. Of course, there will be different ways to accumulate merit, but one of the way to accumulate merit is actually practicing the Vinaya or the precepts. Like for us, the layer this will have the 5 precepts, and then for the shamanists and so on, they'll have the 10, and then the full ordinated monks will have the much more. And this by means of the practicing the precepts, we can actually very easily and without much risk accumulate merit. And I think this is very crucial to understand the wisdom throughout our intellectual mind. Okay. Then the next is this 2 different types of ultimate consciousness is in the Gelugpa system that is called the rational consciousness. This is So this is called the riksha, and I wanted to rik is reasoning, and share is consciousness. So riksha, the rational consciousness, but it doesn't actually reflect the 2 layers of the ultimate consciousness. Because one day I suggested Jeffrey, how about seeing riksha, the rik as the reasoning, and the rikpa, and then share as wisdom, sherab, rikpadang sherab. And Jeffrey said bullshit. So I just gave up. And so this riksha is according to the Jarinpoche, there are 2 the consciousness, the exalted wisdom of meditative poise, and then the rational consciousness analyzing object with the ultimate analysis through reasoning. And as I told you, if you want to practice this, then the accumulating merit, which will create a conducive environment, including our health and our the life, and then the friends and everything, which will merit will actually help us to attain this correct consciousness. And this correct consciousness throughout this is according to Jeffrey, I didn't check how to practice rational consciousness, but if you practice the Chongnam and Jollam and Gomram and so on, so the path of preparation and so on, this is when you go to Tongnam, the path of seeing, then you will eventually get the ultimate consciousness. And then it says, so I asked Jeffrey, if we go to the path of seeing, then does it mean that we don't need any the inferential rational consciousness? But he said that no, actually the practitioner will need to the work on these two parts of yogic direct perception and rational consciousness, the inference and rational consciousness together to the end. And eventually when you go to the normal learning, then you can actually drop it, and then using only the ultimate consciousness, and then to attain the emptiness, the direct perception of emptiness. That's what I prepared today. And then since then, because after writing my dissertation, I came back to studying the Chapa Chukyi Sengye's text, of course. And then I also, during the studying the Jeffrey, I found that the Gungnu Chökyi Jungne, who is the first textbook author of the Kumang Monastery, actually the very freely criticized Tsongkhapa that you are wrong. You can find the same text in the Jnana Garbha's differentiation of two truths, which was actually same in the Sera Jechumpa. The Jechumpa Sera the textbook author also criticized Tsongkhapa in the very bluntly, without mentioning him. And while the Jamyang Shepa actually criticized both in his textbook. They asked the Jeffrey, like, but Jamyang Shepa actually criticized these two, Gungnu Chökyi Jungne and the Sera Jechumpa, by means of saying that you are citing actually wrong text. Then where does it come from? And then Jeffrey told me that it might be from the Gyalchap Dharma Rinpoche's commentary on the Jnana Garbha's differentiation of two truths. So I asked him, where can I find it? And then he told me that many teachers said that they mentioned about it, but nobody actually found it. So I searched all the available the catalog of the Gyalchap's the commentary, the text, the collection of his text, and found the only one Sunbun catalog actually mentions this text. So at the time the late Gene Smith was still alive. So I asked the Gene Smith, like, do you have this text? And then he immediately sent me the PDF of the text. And then on the same year he went to India, and when he came back he passed away. Right after he came back he passed away. It was about 10 years ago, I don't know now. And so since then I typed in, and then I finished the translation of the Gyalchap's the commentary, which is the only commentary which is available after 12th century, and which I have. So I finished translation, and then I'm preparing it for the next page. And then one of them is the Kumang, the history of monastic textbooks in Kumang Monastery. And because then the reason is because one of the thesis advisor, David Jaman, with me, like, because his part is history. So he said, like, you need to write a chapter about history of monastic textbook. So I wrote one, and then found that that's very interesting. Which is like, when Gelugpa school was a little unstable, the other schools are actually attacking the Kalma Kagyu was attacking Gelug. And then the textbook author, the Gungnu Chökyi Jungne, was actually through the ritual actually cursing the other party. And one of the king passed away, and then they actually chased the Gungnu Chökyi Jungne, and he ran away from the Kumang, and then went to Kham, and eventually went to the Amdo, and passed away there. So I was interested in that part. So I wrote one article, and then second article I prepared over like about a decade. And the reason is because when I was bring back some the batches of the Kumang Monastery textbooks, Jeffrey always complained to me that what you brought from the Kumang is actually not the Jamyang Shepa's text, because they have the obvious textual difference. So I went to Tibet twice to bring back the Kumang textbook again, and then all the texts were the same. And then eventually found that they are different editions. So Jamyang Shepa, Jeffrey was curious, like, who actually edited this text. So that was first question he asked me. And then the like when was the second question. So I traced it to like the history and throughout the history and so on. And eventually I found that the Gomang Monastery, the textbook there, which is used in Gomang Monastery in Tibet, in Lhasa, is actually the combination of the Jamyang Sherpa's old the edition, the edition before he moved back to the Dashi Humpo, the Dashikyo. And then he edited revised his text later, and then which became the so-called Jamyang Sherpa's, the collection of Jamyang Sherpa's writings. And therefore, while the Dashikyo Monastery, Labra, has a new set of monastic textbooks, but the Gomang Monastery was using the old monastic textbooks, which Jamyang Sherpa didn't edit. So then the question was like, then why we have still this combination of the new and old and new editions at Gomang Monastery in Lhasa? So I read and this is old monastic textbooks, the old edition of the Jamyang Sherpa's textbook, which before he was editing new one. And then I found that Jamyang Sherpa was actually following the request from his disciples to compose textbooks. So he was exactly following what the Gomang Monastery asked him to compose, which is this part. And it was actually in Jamyang Sherpa's letter communication, the communication between with the disciples. So then I was curious, like, then when it happened, and then I was reading I read the eighth Dalai Lama's biography. There was a short one and the big one, and then short one, and one of the clue was Chejol Gyamcho. This monk is the editor of the eighth Dalai Lama's biography, and then his name actually appears in the Gomang Monastery textbooks too, as one of the sponsors, the big sponsor. So I was curious, and so I read you can see that Sungyak. So it was like 300 more pages of the eighth Dalai Lama's the biography last summer, like one by one, and then eventually found the one line. It was the 8th month, like 10th month, the eighth Dalai Lama passed away. So just 2 months before his passing, the Chejol Gyamcho asked the eighth Dalai Lama's permission to print out the textbooks. And so that's my second article, which will come a little later in this year. Because of printing is very expensive, and therefore they left the old printings there, and then they just only added the new printings, which is not overlapping with the old printings. So they made all these chapter available, which was between the old editions and the new editions as the one set of Gomang monastic textbooks. It was the 1804, and then I found that in the seventh, one of the Halchin, the Prajna Paramita textbooks, the commentary is missing. The 7th chapter is missing during the Chinese attack in Qing, during the Qing. So actually the Jamyang Sherpa's disciple Ngawang Pelden actually recomposed the 7th chapter, which is considered as a set. And then but Gomang Ma's textbook didn't have it. When I asked my teacher, did you actually missing the 7th chapter? And then he said, this is whole set, and 7th chapter is missing. And then eventually I found that the 7th chapter was added in 1942 by a monk in Gomang Monastery. So that's all I found, and then what I'm working now. Okay, and then I'm talk too much. Okay, here this is a picture of the called the there will be three ways you can liberate from samsara through 5 ways, or through the 5 senses. One of them is this is the Manjushri in this is the Maitreya Buddha in Gomang Monastery, in Depung Monastery. It called as the Maitreya Buddha. Through seeing it, you will be liberated. So and sometimes it is closed, and then mostly it is closed. The foot is closed from the public mostly. So as you can see, the like unit of money is like 50 yuan and so on, right? This is like if you see the top, then that's like 1 yuan and one so on. So this is very rare. So I wanted to show you so that you can see it, through seeing it, you can be liberated from samsara. And then this is Rinpoche in Gomang Monastery. And this is Maitreya Buddha, the statue in Tashihunpo. At the time I paid the $50 to took this picture. With the like triangle, the tripod and so on, with the good camera. And nowadays you need to pay like about $250 so, to take only one picture. So I wanted to show you so that you can gain merit, and then attain the wisdom, and like either wherever you are. And again, what I learned from Jeffrey is oriented my life, and he was like still father to me. Like he not only guided me, like, and not only scolded me, but he protected me from so many things, and he nourished me, not only knowledge, but every time I went to his home to be tortured, like he always fed the meal first, so that I have a good stomach to be punched. So he was like in many ways not only beyond my teacher, but like my father. So I hope that you have some good connection with your lamas, and like learn from your lamas and attain the bodhicitta, hopefully in this lifetime. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Jongbok. Just incredible, your perseverance, your dedication, your faith, the devotion at such a young age. It's really, really amazing. And the work that you've done, I didn't mention in the introduction, looking at all of the different monasteries within the Gelugpa tradition, Ganden, Sera, Drepung, and looking at the different textbook writers and seeing how the monastery's identity kind of emerged from the personalities of these textbook writers, and how them holding the diverse opinions that they held and hold allows the kind of personification of themselves in a monastic curriculum, and gives an identity to the monastery. And I found it really interesting. I was looking at your thesis and looking at some of the papers that you've done work on, and relating it to what again Jeffrey said about how there would be so much sectarianism sometimes within the same sect with different monastic textbooks, that some of the folks who are from Ganden wouldn't even consider the textbooks from Drepung, for instance, valuable. And that's really important to look at and stay away from this kind of idea, because abandoning the Dharma is a huge problem when we look at Lama Tsongkhapa's great treatise on the stage of the path to enlightenment and the four greatnesses. So I think it's wonderful that we're honest enough to take a look at these things so that we don't create a kind of sectarianism within our mind, and have the inability to see that all of these teachings are instructions and can be valuable. So I have a question for you that deals with this very subject. In Lama Tsongkhapa's Illuminating the Intent, he cites Yana Garba's Two Truths text, and says that there's no apprehension of the object of negation by sense consciousness. Basically, that the sense consciousness doesn't see the inherent existence. It's the mental consciousness, conceptuality that does. And then Jamyang Sheba disagrees, but doesn't disagree. He says, well, Tsongkhapa just meant to say it like this, and then fixes it up a little and says that the sense consciousness does apprehend the object of negation, true existence, in the case of Svatantrika Madhyamaka. I'm just wondering if you could just speak a moment on what you think of that. And because it makes sense to me what Jamyang Sheba is saying. If you're getting information, the information must be coming in a certain way if your mental consciousness and conceptuality is processing it in that way. So what Jamyang Sheba is saying makes more sense to me. And I just wanted to know what you thought.
Oh, that's the very interesting topic to call the 각자 왕실라 낭미나. So the 각자, the objective negation, whether that appears to the sense perceptions or not. And like, for example, the Jinaya Garba, and so for example, in the Prasangika school, everything is conceptual. And therefore, because everything is conceptual, what you actually perceive is actually misconceived. And therefore, everything is actually the just manifestation of your mind. And therefore, the Prasangika's definition of 각자 is 똑같점, means like only perception, conceptions. And therefore, the 각자, the 왕실, the 각자 objective negation doesn't appear to the sense consciousness in Prasangika school. Maybe I'm confused. Now I'm confused. Gosh, I'm confused. The mind only school, for example, in Kamalashila or the Shantarakshita, when they mentions the 각자, the objective negation, of course, the Svatantrika school in Jnanagarba is different. In Jnanagarba's case, and Baba Viveka, the sense conscious, the 각자, the objective negation appears to sense consciousness because they accept the external object. And for Shantarakshita and Kamalashila, and the 각자, the objective negation doesn't appear to the sense consciousness. And probably, right. So in Prasangika school, the 각자 왕실라 민ang too. So it doesn't appear to sense consciousness. So it depends on which school you are in. The appearance of 각자 to the sense consciousness can be different.
Thank you. Okay, so let's see. According to Thupten Jimba's, so I'm reading questions from the audience. I don't have names, but according to Thupten Jimba's presentation of Tsongkhapa's understanding of the object of negation, there isn't much in the Indian Madhyamaka literature to substantiate by means of direct citation Tsongkhapa's point regarding the importance of prior identification of the object of negation. And in regards to specifically identifying the object of negation, Tsongkhapa literally forces the Indian texts, as it were, to say that he wishes to them to state, both citate page 52 of Self-Reality and Reason. We won't know what that is. What is your understanding of how Tsongkhapa arrives at his unique understanding of identifying the object of negation and how it differs from other Madhyamakas? So Tsongkhapa's really presenting that the object of negation has to be understood. And is this something you find?
Right. So if you read the Indian text, they don't much mentions the objective negation. I think the person who appears actually the objective negation, the pratishtha doesn't exist in Sanskrit. We can postulate the pratishtha by the prati as the shed as the negate, and ya as the passive, so the object to be negated. And so in Indian context, the identifying the object of negation is not big matter. And I think is Tsongkhapa the only one who actually brought in our attention? Actually not. If you see the 11th century, the Kadampa or the Sangpo Neotic tradition, and they mentions 각자 a lot. And we can find the term 각자 as verb, passive in passive mode in Pavia. But actually, you can see in the 11th century, the commentary writers, and 12th century, the Chapa Chokisenge used 각자 very frequently to identify the object. So that part is I think that's common and what the Tsongkhapa inherited. However, seeing the mind and as I told you, the mind and object as the 각자 and tenjin at the same time in one sentence is, I think that's one of the Tsongkhapa's achievement to emphasize the importance of understanding 각자. So I agree with the Gen Tuptanjinpa that was not much into the emphasize the Indian tradition, but was very much the tradition of the mentioning 각자 exists in early from the 11th century Tibetan Buddhism, and then was emphasized by the Rinpoche.
Thank you very much. J. Mipam famously criticized Lama Tsongkhapa, who said, pot is not empty of pot, pot is empty of true existence. J. Mipam criticized Lama Tsongkhapa for negating something that is not related to pot and leaves the contaminated pot intact and hence leaves the attachment to pot intact. What do you think?
It's a very confusing text. Well, I think that's the 오직나 독파타데 오직. So means in the so-called Shanto or Nyingma, the philosopher collage, the Nyingma or the other schools, and says in the Kagyu says that the object, the conventional truth and ultimate truth must be separated, and therefore they must have different nature. So they can be different. They should not be same. But in Gelug tradition, it says that the things are all things we are seeing is conventional existence. The conventional existence means conventional existence means everything is assembled through the causes and effects. So therefore the conventional here means it's a false. It's because it's impermanent. All things assembled through the causes and conditions through karma will be disappear at some moment when the karmic thread is gone, and therefore that's not true. And therefore the conventional existence, the nature is actually the dependent arising. However, when the things, if we try to see things, for example, cup, then where is the ultimate existence, the ultimate nature? Then the non-existence of this, the something core, we can call as a cup, the non-absence of this, the general image of a cup, or the nature, which we call the cupness, the empty of that, the cupness, is actually ultimate truth. And because it doesn't exist, and therefore that's permanent, and that's emptiness. So so in Gelug school, we see the Gelug school says that the things has one object actually represent the two ways. One is a conventional way because it will be eventually disintegrated. But if you see the absence of this, the somethingness or the nature of that object, then that's empty of something, and therefore that's permanent, and therefore it is the ultimate truth. Which is the Ipam or the other schools which says that ultimate truth must have its own nature. Then conventional truth must have their own nature, and which therefore they must be separate. And while the Gelugpa, to my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong, it says that the one object they represent the truth. So I think that's this summer when I was in Vienna, I had some argue with the Sonam Takjala in Tasmanian University about this, and I think this is two different views about the like how we see things. And I don't think one is right and one is wrong, but in our level, just think that we are not in like the level of like the bodhisattva in level of like seeing the passive seeing or the like passive the non-running, right? So in our level, like whatever we fit, if we the pursue and we do like the enough the good merit, then eventually we'll attain something. Then you can talk. But otherwise, I think the whatever you prefers, I think that you can follow. And especially that depends on who is your teacher.
Thank you so much. I remember again, Jeffrey saying that we see all these diverse views. We were studying Dolpopa, we were studying a lot of different things. And he says, just realize these aren't going to hurt you. None of these highly realized masters are going to hurt you. So don't be so scared, keep an open mind. And I think that that's just such an amazing thing. And it goes back to the discussion of why Tsongkhapa pointed out the object of negation so strongly. Non-pot becomes the object of negation is the existence of pot. And this is a problem because we use them. And we all agree upon flat bulbous objects that can hold water or whatever the definition of it is. So
right. So the conventional truth is a special true conventional truth. Definition is Denjanipa. So that which can actually produce able to perform a function. And that's why that's impermanent. So we, for example, our existence is a conventional existence, then we need to perform a function. I don't know what it is, like maybe helping other beings and helping myself, or the whatever way. I think the important thing is to the respect each other's view, and just like Jeffrey said. But sometimes, like as I'm in the like scholastic society, sometimes I see like people actually attack each other like vehemently because of the like Tsongkhapa is wrong or Tsongkhapa is right. But to me, that's like
okay, this is the last question, I believe. Let me make sure. I have one more. Okay. When the highest consciousness has no proliferation of dualism, what is the one that is left? I'm not sure. What's left? I guess in signlessness, non-duality, signless non-duality, what's left?
So that's the question about like whether if, for example, in Chandrakirti, the Chandrakirti will says that the consciousness, the when you left the dualism, because if you don't have a dualistic appearance, then the consciousness will exist alone without object. And according to Kevin, who is also Jeffrey's student, according to him, they said that the Chandrakirti actually also assert that the mind doesn't exist. Like after you over the dualism, then there is no mind or the object at all. According to him, that's the Chandrakirti's view. I'm not sure because I didn't read that part. And however, in the Gelug school, and according to the Gelug school's view, is that when you attain the non-dualistic mind, and in conventional level, you will constantly view the object of consciousness is emptiness in when you left the dualistic consciousness. And therefore, because in Gelug school, the consciousness itself by definition requires the object, while the other schools like those according to Chandrakirti, consciousness, certain consciousness, like ultimate consciousness, doesn't require the object. And therefore, if you go to Prasangika school, according to Chandrakirti, you don't have the object. So you will have the mind alone. Then because mind by definition, it requires object, and therefore you cannot call it as mind either. While if you see the Gelug school's viewpoint, then the ultimate consciousness will constantly see the emptiness. And therefore, if you see the Chandrakirti's the entry into the middle way, then the people ask us, like, I think that's a very common question when Buddha was still alive. If Buddha doesn't have the consciousness, then how can someone like Buddha can actually help us, our sentient beings, and guide us to the enlightenment? And then the Chandrakirti's the answer is I still think about his answer. Chandrakirti says that just like the wheel of the potters, which when the old time when potters are making the pots, actually he kicked the wheel, then it will constantly turn around without even some time at the moment when he was like forming this pot. So he doesn't have to kick constantly. He said that just like that, the Buddha has accumulated and had the mind of bodhicitta for so long time, and therefore although he doesn't have mind that subject and object, but still because of the habit of helping sentient beings like constantly, so without even the recognizing the object, but still he can actually help sentient beings. So I think that's what the Chandrakirti was explaining, that the Buddha or Bodhisattva, not Bodhisattvas, Bodhisattva should have the object, but Buddha can help sentient beings with a mind, means like the ultimate mind, which cannot be even considered as mind at the time. So but still, so Anne MacDonald at the Austrian the Academy of Science, she says that that's the gnosis or the mystic mind, mystic consciousness without the object. And I'm still I talked to Jay Garfield the once, but I don't know, like if someone says that the consciousness exists without object, then the definition of Purusha in Sankhya is very similar. Like the Purusha in Sankhya is a consciousness which exists without the object. And all things happen here is actually the play of Prakriti, which see in the Purusha and then reflect that this matter is actually mind and so on. And therefore I'm just always curious about how can you differentiate the Sankhya system from the so-called mind alone without object, the theory.
That's very interesting. Let me just make sure I have to conduct this and not think about all these high philosophical things. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so that's it. We don't have any more questions. You left me with a lot of questions, and that's always good when we leave a talk with more things to delve into. And you're just a great example of just diving deeper and deeper and deeper into subjects to try to make your own mind, benefit from being able to see things more clearly. And I really rejoice in all of the work you've done, and just want to say thank you so much. And may we all again meet with Professor Jeffrey Hopkins, as you said, wherever, whenever, wherever and whenever that is. I remember when he passed that you posted that, and that's, I think, all of our sentiments, to be able to continue to learn about this truth of suchness that he was just so generous with. So thank you again, and thank you for your devotion to the Dharma. We all really appreciate it. Next week, we are honored to have Professor Douglas Duckworth lecturing about ethical grounds in Prasangika and the Great Perfection. Professor Duckworth is a great scholar of both Tsongkhapa's view of reality as well as J. Mipam, and this will be another exciting dive into reality. So this has been just a wonderful series so far, and I really just thank you so much for all coming and supporting this. And thank you to Sravasti Abbey. Sravasti. I'm already getting it wrong. Sravasti. Thank you to Sravasti Abbey for hosting the event and having the courage to continue to do what you do and blaze the monastic trails, as I said last week, here in the United States, and making it for a place for monastics to feel safe and be able to congregate and follow the path of the Vinaya. That's the foundation, we know, of all of the Buddha's teachings. So thank you very much. And don't forget, if you'd like to support UMA Institute for Tibetan Studies' ongoing effort to preserve and translate Tibetan Buddhist teachings, please donate in the link provided, and be sure to write again Hopkins series in the comments section. And if you'd like more information about UMA Institute for Tibetan Studies, where you'll find some of the texts that Professor Jongbok translated and co-translated with Professor Hopkins, go to UMA, UMA dash Tibet, TIBET.org. And you'll be able to find just a treasure chest of free Dharma to look at, and just years and years of Professor Jeffrey's work with various lamas and translators. And it's just really an amazing treasure. So I encourage you all to go there, and you'll see why it needs to be supported and to make sure that it keeps going. Now let's dedicate the immense amount of merit we created from listening to this pure teaching from the King of Prayers. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri, and likewise Samantabhadra as well, with whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the three times. I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Professor Jongbok. Thank you, Sravasti Abbey. Thank you, Uma. And we will see you all next time. And thank you to all the participants. We appreciate it that folks want to learn about these things. Thank you.